This is BJ Murray from GloveUpBoxing.com, here with Breadman, trainer of Kyrone Davis, and Julian Williams. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Kyrone just made his pro debut last year. He had about 6 fights if I'm not mistaken, it's 5 fights last year, 3 by KO, and so he's moving pretty quick last year, right?
Yep.
He had a fight earlier this year, also January, which moved to 6 rounds compared to the 4 rounds that he was having last year. How you feel he's progressing?
Right on schedule.
Okay. No problem. So how's training camp going for this fight coming up?
Good, man. This should be the best condition that he's ever been in. He's been looking real good in sparring. His body's coming down. He's only about 8 pounds off the weight right now. Everything's looking good, man. He's progressing. He's right where I thought he would be at.
Okay. How do you see this fight playing out?
Victory, you know. I don't know if he's going to get a knockout. I don't want to get into all of that. You know, you never know how motivated the guy is not to get stopped. But he's going to win the fight.
Okay. He signed with Al Heyman late last year, if I'm not mistaken. Early last year. And it seems like Al and you got him moving pretty quick. Is that the plans for y'all?
Well, he's not. I think he's moving on schedule. I don't think he's really moving fast, and he's not moving slow. You know, he's moving just right. You know, 5 fights a year is about right for a 4-round and a 6-round fight. You know what I mean? So we get another 5 fights this year. He'll be 10-0 before the year is out. He'll be right, right where he needs to be.
All right, other question. I heard that he's been sparring with Julian. How's that going, and how much is he learning from that?
It's great work. I don't let him work no more though, man. It gets a little bit too easy. So I don't like them my guys to work with each other. Got 5 more minutes. I don't like for my guys to work with each other. They hit each other in vital areas, and you know, Julian's a little older than Kyrone, but Kyrone's very competitive, you know, so I would rather my guys beat up on somebody else than to beat up on each other. You know, it's just not, I mean, there's no other words around. I'll let them work, but for the most part, Julian's at a stage where he can pay for his sparring. Right. So for the most part, they don't have to work with each other. So they haven't worked with each other in about a year. You know what I mean? I would rather them not work with each other. You know what I mean? It gets brutal. So I like for them to work with other people.
All right, question about Julian. He just got a win on an undercard of Adonis Stevenson fight. Went the whole 10 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. Who's next for him? I heard that y'all trying to get Austin Trout, but it don't seem like it's no feedback on that side.
It's whoever now. I just heard today that maybe Frank Villard. So, you know, won't turn down much but our collar. It could be, I mean, the names that was in the pot, Dennis Manarose and Austin Trout got a fight, so his name wasn't in the pot for the next day. Julian may fight again in June. Tony Harrison, Frank Velarde, Luciano Puello. I even heard Glenn Tapia. Let me think who else, man. Brian Rose. Who else named? Got mentioned to me. One of the Charlos, I think it may have been Jamel. So, you know, I'm open for any of the fights. You know, it's up to Al to maximize the earning potential, but anybody who they ask me out of those guys, I said he can fight any one of them. Whatever one pay the most money or whatever one to get them up in the rankings the highest is who we're willing to fight. Obviously, you can't fight everybody in one night. Right. You know what I mean? So it's going to have to make some kind of business sense. So, I don't know, man. You know, I think right now, probably the leading candidates would be Van Roof or the kid Frank Velarde. He just got a really good win on Showbox. That would be a really good fight. So it's whatever. Julian's already back in the gym, so I don't care who he's fighting. You know what I mean? Okay. He could certain kind of guys can fight anybody. You know what I mean? I got confidence in him, so I won't have to do too much picking and choosing and shucking and jiving. You know what I mean?
Right.
Once I get a name, it's easier. The anxiety is when you don't have the name and you're going through the name.
Right.
Once you get the name, it's like, all right, well, this is it now. Let's go to work. You know what I mean? The anxiety is trying to pick the right guy, but when I get a list of guys and everybody's good on the list, to me, it's just whatever.
All right, so basically, can we see Julian fighting for a title by the end of the year?
Yes. Actually, we're looking to fight for the, there's a fight for the WBA interim title between Maurice Bieber and Jack Calque.
Right.
And, we're going to try to target the winner of that fight. So definitely, I think we should be fighting for a title by the end of the year. And if not, then, he's willing to do it the hard way and become the mandatory and force a title fight.
You done? You that?
I'll let you know, man.
All right. I just want to dispel this myth about Al Haymon because a lot of people give him a hard way to go, but you got both of your fighters with Al Haymon, and they moving quick. And it's the notion that Al kind of protects his fighters and take it easy on his fighters.
I got 3 fighters with Al Haymon. I don't train Omar Douglas, but I advise him.
Right.
Also, and I brought him on Al Haymon. Here's the thing, man.
Hey everybody!
People don't like the power that Al Haymon has. So therefore, they say a lot of niggas.
I want to thank you.
People say that about Al, but I mean, it's one of them things like, he's a manager. Your manager is supposed to get you the most money that he possibly can. Now it's up to the fighter if he want to fight legacy defining fights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sure, it's a prideful thing, and you want to be known as great. You don't just want to get rich. Everybody has pride. Everybody wants attribution, but I don't think Al Haymon done nothing that no other manager has done. You know what I mean? And let's maximize his fighters' earning potential. He just happens to have more power than everybody else. A lot of times when the guy got over 200 fighters, so you gotta understand, you're not hands-on talking to every 3-0 kid that he got. So a lot of times, it's the fighters themselves that don't want to fight. But nobody don't pick on the fighters. They say, well, it's Al Haymon. Well, if you got a fighter that come to you and say, look, man, that's a rough fight, I can't beat you. What are you gonna do? You're not the promoter. You have a job to protect the fighter as the manager. You know what I mean? It hasn't happened to me yet. But if I have a fighter that say to me like, yo, Steve, listen, I can't say this publicly, I can't beat him. I'm not gonna make him fight him.
Right.
Promoters do that as a to protect your fighter.
Right.
Don't make your fighter, unless he's the mandatory, don't make your fighter fight somebody. So a lot of times, and I'm not saying that Al Haymon fighters don't duck you, but everybody's fighters duck you.
Right.
It's not just the Al Haymon thing. The problem is people get mad because Al Haymon fighters get paid more to fight less than elite level opponents, but that's his job to do that. Who's going to complain about that? Now it's up to the networks, it is up to the promoters to make these guys fight. You know what I'm saying? And not all Al Haymon fighters do that. Every guy that somebody can name to me that made Duffin Dodge competition, I'll show you a Paul Williams.
Right.
And Antonio Tarver. Or Rico Ramos. You know what I mean? Rico Ramos didn't get no showcase defense enough. He had to fight a cold killer. Briggity out, boom, take that for winning the title. You know what I mean? So for every guy that comes along that have that they say Al Haymon shows so much favoritism to, I'll tell you some of the fighters that have to fight Jamel Charlo, not Jamal, but Jamel Charlo. That kid fight rough fights, man.
Yeah.
He done fought Demetrius, he fought Gabe, he fought Charlie Yoder, he fought Manny, and he still ain't fought for a title. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on who's the guy. Some of the guys fight something like Yoder don't fight easy fights. You know what I mean? So it really just depends. I don't get into that, man, because everybody's gonna have their opinion. You know, at one time Shelly Pinker was the hot manager. At one time Cameron Duncan was the hot manager. Jake Prince was the hot manager. Everything goes in waves and boxing. You know what I mean? So people always gonna have an opinion about something, man. I just want to make sure that my fighters maximize their earning potential. You know, and I also care about legacy too. You know, I want my fighters to test their skills. You know what I mean? But everything has to make sense. You know, people say this to me all the time, man. You really meant to get in the league. It's tough. Well, I mean, tough because of the fight.
Right.
And you get paid more if you fight tough guys. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
If you fight a better guy, you get your money goes up. You only makes more money every time he fights. He gets an increase every time he fights.
Right.
Because he don't fight. Tom, he don't fight 500 ham and acres. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
fighting decent level competition. You know what I'm saying? He get paid accordingly for it. Well, when people say that, man, I just be like, y'all just don't understand. When he was 12-0, he fought an ex-world champion who was 32-4.
Yeah.
No came out saying
Right.
for $10,000.
Shit.
Then his very next fight, before he was Centeno, who was 19-0. 15. So he got the right to make money.
Yeah.
So when the people talk about picking and choosing, he went his undefeated record for 15, and he was without him. He had to earn his stripes.
Right.
People don't know that side of it, so I just let them talk. You know what I'm saying? They don't know that side of, you know, what these kids gotta go through. You know what I mean? So people will always have something to say, BJ, you know what I mean? But the people that got something to say, ask them if they call Al Hammond on the phone, if they know him personally,
Right.
or if they ever talk to him. And I guarantee you, I guarantee you that nobody that's with them, they're gonna be doing that complaining. There's always going to be somebody from the outside that's assuming what's going on and don't know what's going on. So, you know, it's whatever, man. I got my own low personal entity, and I can't speak for no other team that's out here, but I know my guys are willing to fight tough fights. They don't get beat, but they do get treated fair, and they do get paid, and that's how it's supposed to be.
I got two last questions for you. One, I think everybody kind of want to know. I mean, you kind of started around the same time, but you started off at Boxing Talk, and most people want to know: did you switch over to Fight Hype, or?
You know what, man? I'm still watching the scene, actually. You know, I heard this stuff on the watching scene, and I do like those stuff and you know, I don't want to mess up the integrity or nothing. I'm never gonna do an interview, and I never do a story. The only thing I do is a mailbag because I'm answering a question, or somebody might ask me something as far as a fight prediction is concerned. But lately, watching the scene, they call me from there. I give them a little prediction, Fight Hype giving a prediction, and I still do my mailbag on Boxing Talk. So you know, and I haven't officially switched to anything yet. You know what I mean? I am thinking about bringing my mailbag and making it a little bit more exclusive and a little bit more regular to a site, but I don't want to say nothing yet about it. But other than that, I'm never doing no more interviews. I'm never doing the story or none of that. I'm just going to do a little prediction, get my opinion on my mailbag just for a platform because I love boxing and that's it. And leave it at that. But I am thinking about switching my mailbag, doing something with my mailbag, but I really haven't. I don't have the time to do things the way I used to. So I want to work some things out, and I'll be able to talk about it more.
All right, give us the full take on Mayweather and Pac-Man.
I think it's going to be a great fight, man. I think that Floyd's a little fresher, a little bigger, a little stronger, just a little bit more, just a fresher guy. You know, I think that if it was a couple years ago, I think Manny would have won. Maybe 2009, 2010, but now I think he slipped a little bit, been knocked out, a little old, and that high energy style kind of burned out. I think it's going to be competitive, but I think Floyd's going to win it at this stage. I think Floyd's going to win. Floyd kind of kept himself, you know, he may not be at his peak, but he's still in his prime. He's kept himself a little bit closer to his peak than the man.
What you got to say to your fans?
Oh man, I don't got no fans. I'm just trying to make a little bit of money.
Oh, okay.